Voice culture in film music, we are going to look at Tamil film music. So generally when we say voice culture, I'm sure you are expecting a lot of demonstration, more of demonstration, understanding voice modulation. But please tell me, is it effective if you understand something just relating to one song, a song of this period, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, the song from the 50s, 60s? Will you understand why the particular style was that at that time? How did those singers sing like that? How are the singers now adapting to whatever the music directors are composing now? Why was it different in Shyamala's voice? What was different in N.K. Tyagaraja's voice? Have you ever thought on these lines? Why was a particular style dominating during a particular period? Unless you understand that, we cannot understand what is voice culture. Culture does not mean learning exercises. To understand the usage of voice during a particular period and the factors that influenced that particular usage. That is the only way we can look at voice culture. Okay. In film music, that is Tamil films. Again, we have to understand, just like melodic music, we have to move across, like Saudi I mentioned yesterday. A tradition is not a set of practices which are stagnant. They are evolving, right? Everything from technology to everything, even weather, will influence the evolution of the tradition. Definitely, we are not what our ancestors were 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 600 years ago. Even a simple Diwali celebration has been modified and simplified and adapted to. So, but there is Diwali, there is a function and this. Second, it's a tradition. When it is evolving, whether it is music or any art, is exposed to change, influenced by several factors around. We are going to look at the usage of voice in Tamil music based on these aspects. But this is a very bird's eye view. You can go on talking about even Arabic music and this, but I will have to let you know before you run away, because I'm sure you're all hungry. Shall we? Voice and development of technology. I'm sure you have heard of silent movie. That's the best example to say that music is more powerful. That which we hear, decipher, Shravana, Manana, Ekana, and respond to is more powerful than what you see. You will never get scared of a ghost in a silent movie. The same silent movie, the same ghost scene with a very intimidating music will tell you, okay, that's the ghost is arriving. You are already scared. And some of the age-old, even Pink Panther, and telling with quarter tones and very eerie, right? So, from the period of silent movie, we came to a period of walkie-talkie. I don't even think you people have you heard walkie-talkie? Yeah, walkie-talkie. The Warner brothers, all of them started that. India was still in silent movie. Why am I talking about it at all? Because they were trying the concept of recording the voice where the shooting is taking place. Do you know, there were times when people used to walk behind them, run behind them with amplifiers to catch the voice, to capture the audio. So that is the period of walkie-talkie. So unless we know that there were periods like this, walkie-talkie, and before that silent movie, you will not be able to appreciate the advent of a recording system and audio accompanying a video. We have to appreciate that amplification period. A very self-explanatory title. There was no amplification in the early period. So just like the Telugu and all the street dances, the Yakshagana, the Kathakali, the Ottathulai, there was no amplification. They were all temple arts and the only form of entertainment. At that time, music was in the form of, mainly in the form of a musical drama. So that two things reach the audience. Kacheris would have been there, definitely yes. But singing to accompany an emotive scene, singing, this is film music, right? To accompany a theme or something which an actor is trying to convey, happened from the beginning of the musical drama. Will you agree with me? Please negate me if I go wrong. So, musical drama, we all know. There, you have to understand this point, emotive versus decibel level. It was not the beauty of the voice or the melodic content which was important those days, because it is pre-amplification period. The louder I am, the mightier I am. I don't even have to slave on Shruti sometimes because I am shouting. If I am not heard, my audience will leave. That's only entertainment data, okay? They come all the way and there is no mic that time. I need to reach, see that boy who is walking there, like that, the last person in the audience. So what do? Do I worry about my Shruti alignment or the melody, the modulation? I shout. So music at that time was nothing but audio reachability. It's called audio reachability. So that is why I have written emotive versus decibel level. Okay? The next point, the actors were mainly singers. There was no need for you to be an actor, a skilled actor, a talented actor. No, only singers. They just adorn the costume and shout. So only singers were actors, and of course dancing, dance is part of it. So dances, that's all. The facial expression was not even seen by the audience because poor lighting, all that, and very exaggerated makeup those days. Why? Because they have to be visible and they have to be heard. That was the only criteria, nothing beyond that. So what happened? You can't sing in a low pitch all the time. It has to be high pitched and loud. So the very first singing for an emotion on stage was all very high pitched and high volume. Not like the film music people, but the intent or the need was different. So the early drama music or music for enacting a scene or an emotion was nothing but a high-pitched male, very rare female voices, and there were a lot of element of exteriorization. If you hear like the drama music Dr. Devika was talking about, they had the freedom because they were all classical singers and there was only time they could go on stage. So they would shout. This is not opinion, okay? This is research. How it has evolved, the film music. Okay, so that was the same. I thought you're sleeping now. Thank you. So then slowly, amplification is arriving. So that's why I used the word advent of amplification. So what happens now? You have to laugh for this, okay? When I heard this, I laughed. There was a single unit of recording. So there is a very primordial camera capturing the movement, which is called the the movement. And there is another recording facility where the whole machine is hung from a person's neck with one mic who would go behind the actors who are singing. Yes, this is how it was. Okay, so but happy because they had a huge technology had come, so they could actually, it was not a proper playback as such. On the spot recording, single unit. Again, what about the voice? The usage of voice, the culture of the voice remained the same, high pitched and very high in volume. And there was only a single track. The violin literally, that this was for a short period, literally played there. They are not on the frame, not on the screen, making violin or violin tabla flute. That's all. They played there and the singer sang. So imagine the kind of rehearsals they would have gone through because they have to be perfect there. Okay. So that is single track. So was the emotion important? Yes. To an extent. Melody? Okay. Little. Decibel learning? Yes. Right? So that was the period. Pure classical music. I don't know whether you have seen and heard songs from movies in 1950 or ragams which are basically all pure ragams. Kamboji, Todi, just pure classical music. And the violin would play the entire music. They were not accompanying, everything was predetermined. The violin would play the entire song along with the singer. You have heard all those songs, right? Those people. So that was the period. Very minimal instrument because there was no facility for that. Now comes the period of transition, a very important period that you have to understand. It is because of this period that today they are very different from each other, classical and the so-called film music. I wouldn't like to use the word light because it is not light. It is the diluted science of classicism, but it is not light at all, very difficult to say. Okay, so I have used the word popular music. Classical to popular music is a transition. It is a proper stage of transition for the entire India. We could call this period as the first half of 1960s onwards. So new techniques came in the recording industry. So this multiple tracks did not happen in 60s, but this transition happened in 60s. Music directors started trying lighter tunes. A lot of Hindustani ragams also influenced our system with lighter tunes. Some age-old song. All those tunes happen here. That is a period. Okay, so just like Western music, not Western music, diluted. And a lot of instruments came to the scene. So that is a period of transition.
Bombay countries, no?
Pardon?
Bombay. More influence of the Hindi films.
Hindi films. Yeah, because they were getting more advanced. Now it's the other way around. They were more advanced in technology. So from the south, they're just adapting or imbibing or taking help from there. Okay? A lot of their tunes were used by us. So here, different vocal styles started emerging. The culture of voice usage or movies, films started changing. This is the period. Okay, so quickly adapted to that, and only those that were playback singers. This period. Until then, all classical singers, Katli, Neval, Geetam, all the classical singers, A.P. Kompan, Emma Sama, they all sang in A sharp at that time. Even women were singing in much higher pitches than the same classical singers who later sang only art music on stage. So all that we have to understand. But Anke to break funny, a lot of other Jamuna Rani, Shyamala, all of them came who could sing classically tuned Karnal movie, like a classical based songs, plus the so-called non-classical application of the voice. The culture of voice usage changed and a new style emerged during this period. Is that? And a different vocal style with more challenging factors to the voice. So it is not that I'm singing the Pallagi of a Kriti and I just want to rest. So because it is being recorded. This amplification has already come, recording has come, several tracks have come, I mentioned them. So when the recording is happening, it is all predetermined. And the challenge was, what is the challenge mentioned there? Can you guess? At that period, I'm talking about 60s. Single take. And you know what? Just imagine, I wish I was a singer. I'm the singer. All the instruments are here. There are about a couple of mics for the entire orchestra and one mic for the singer, or we do it one more mic. And we all have to go together and have one perfect rendering, which is the final take. So I don't have a cubicle where I'm inside the booth. We are all here. Even if one of you is going to sneeze, we have to read the whole thing. It's not easy at all. Not at all easy. Not just because of the rehearse and rehearse, it's so challenging for the voice. In spite of it, singers of those days, they stayed there at the top for decades. So that's actually the practice of the voice. The right. So different vocal style emerged with more challenging factors with the voice. Major change in male and female pitch. What is a major change? Can you try to think? M.S. Vishwanathan sir, K.V. Mahadevan sir, Ramamurthy sir, those periods. The males who were singing in 1950s in F and F sharp, that pitch culture diminished and the males came down to D sharp, C sharp. But the females who were singing somewhere around A sharp, the culture of their voice usage changed and they went up. That's how Shyamala, Janaki Amma were born. That is the point of a huge demarcation of classical female singers and male classical female singers and popular female singers, popular music female singers. Until then, there was no division. The culture changed from that period. So all the songs were composed very high, extremely high for a female voice. So the males could sing, and any duet singing with them, there was a disparity and problem, and only those who could sing became playback singers. So there is a huge culture change of voice music. Then comes track recording, which is a very big boom. I'm sure you've heard of track recording. Each instrument has an isolated track, including the voice. So you don't even have to see each other. From a time where everybody had to sit in one room without even an AC, we have come to a stage, even at that point, where each element, whether it is an instrument or a voice, could be recorded separately in isolation. And the tracks are merged, balanced. You've heard of them, I'm very sure. And the correction of any one of the elements, any one track can happen, independent of the others. So what a difference. Okay, now you see how it is changing. Yeah. Voice modulation. See, as we told you, we are talking about music which is happening as an accompaniment for an enacting scene. That's why it's called film music, right? So we understood the importance of background music, otherwise it would be like silent mode. So the music, the song or whatever is trying to augment, to improve upon a scene. ஒரு படத்துல ஒரு பாட்டுனா இப்போலாம் இல்லை, but there was a time which the song itself was written talking about the major emotion of the scene or the entire movie. The song will convey properly the lyrics, everything. So on the time, it's called emotive singing. The singer has to modulate to bring that emotion, right? Our singers were so good, they used to cry while singing. That can happen only in movies. We can't sing when we cry, right? But in the movies, the singer who is actually singing for the actor could cry and sing also. So that kind of a voice modulation was capable by these singers, which could not have happened in the earlier culture because they had to shout. Their intention was to shout because there was no mic, but here everything is captured by technology. So the culture of giving importance to decibel level changed. Minute emoting, the culture of minute emoting to actually compliment the actor came. The present scene I am talking about. Now it is so developed that if the singer is very famous and the director wants the singer to sing, but the singer is not able to emote, they can digitally bring the emotion. So it is very easy. The great challenge of the earlier culture gone away. The medieval culture of singing in single room and struggling gone away. Now you don't even have to stand on pitch, stay on pitch. The technology in the studio will help you. That is today's voice culture. Honestly, if any one of you want your voice out there for a film, you give your voice sample and of course pay a lot of money. They will create with you and use your voice. It's possible. Pitch correction. So all this is done. Now, live program pitch correction method is there. Do you know that? For a live program, they have a synthesizer where the pitch of the song, the expanse of the song, the range of the song is fed into it and it corrects you the output. So that is the culture of voice use. I'm really thanking you for sitting and listening to me, because what is voice culture in film music if you don't understand all this? Isn't it? The culture of voice music has been changing, evolving to this day, where a vocalist need not even have a proper shooting in a recording studio. That is the culture we are talking about. But we should only hear about it. That's not an example for us. My voice culture students, please practice the exercises. Okay? Do we have anything more?